Hi, you can download the Expert Advisor that is built in this video and use it for your own AI codebase by just clicking on the link below.
In this video, we are going to create an Expert Advisor that uses the DeMarker indicator to detect trend reversals and manage positions with a trailing stop mechanism based on recent highs and lows. Let's see how we can do that. We start Metaeditor by clicking the little icon or pressing F4. This opens the Metaeditor where we can create our new Expert Advisor file. We begin by including the CTrade class from the standard library, which provides simplified trading methods like PositionOpen and PositionModify. This is done with the include statement that brings in Trade.mqh from the Trade folder. Next, we instantiate a CTrade object called Trade with default parameters. This object will manage all our trade operations, including position management throughout the Expert Advisor's lifecycle. Now we define our strategy configuration parameters as input variables that can be adjusted in the EA properties. LookbackBars determines the historical range for identifying highs and lows, set to 50 candles by default with a range from 1 to 1000 candles. MinCandlesBack specifies the minimum age for a valid high or low, defaulting to 5 candles with a range from 5 to 50. TrailingOffset provides a safety margin for the trailing stop, set to 10 points with a range from 1 to 20 points. DeMarkerPeriod defines the period for the DeMarker indicator used in trend detection, set to 14. UpperLevel establishes the DeMarker upper threshold at 0.7 with a range from 0.5 to 0.9. While LowerLevel sets the lower threshold at 0.3 with a range from 0.1 to 0.5. We declare global variables and handles to store state between ticks and indicator data. DeMarker handle stores the DeMarker indicator handle. DeMarker buffer serves as a ring buffer for DeMarker values. Price data is an array for OHLC price data. The expert initialization function on init is executed once at EA startup for indicator setup. Here we create the DeMarker indicator handle using the current symbol and H1 timeframe with the specified DeMarkerPeriod. We configure both DeMarker buffer and price data arrays as time series using ArraySetAsSeries, which aligns indexes with natural time progression where 0 represents the current candle and 1 represents the previous candle. The function returns init_succeeded to indicate successful initialization. We define position opening functions to execute market orders with specified lot sizes. The openByPosition function retrieves the current ask price using symbol_info double with symbol_ask for precise order execution. It then executes a buy order using Trade's PositionOpen method with parameters including the symbol order_type_buy for a long position, 0. 10 standard lots as position size, the current ask price as entry price, 0 for initial stop loss which disables it, 0 for take profit which also disables it, and DeMarker position as the position comment. Similarly, the open sell position function gets the current bid price using symbol_info double with symbol_bid. It executes a sell order using PositionOpen with order_type_sell for a short position, 0.10 standard lots. The current bid price is entry price, 0 for stop loss, 0 for take profit, and the same position comment. The main price update function on tick is executed on every tick and contains the core strategy logic. It begins by retrieving historical price data for analysis using copyrates, which copies H1 candle data for the LookbackPeriod. The parameters include the current symbol, H1 timeframe, starting position 0, count of LookbackBars, and the target price data array. Next, it loads DeMarker values from the indicator buffer using copyBuffer, which copies calculated DeMarker values into the DeMarker buffer array for trend analysis. The parameters are the indicator handle, buffer number 0, starting position 0, count of LookbackBars, and the target array. The function then checks position status to determine if any open positions exist and their type. It initializes has open position as false and current position type as position_type_buy as a default value. It scans through all open positions by looping backwards from positions total -1 to 0 for safe iteration. For each position, it gets the unique ticket number using PositionGetTicket, checks if the position belongs to the current symbol using PositionSelectByTicket and PositionGetString with position_symbol, marks that an open position exists. stores the position type using PositionGetInteger with position_type, and exits the loop after finding the first matching position. For trend detection and position management, the Expert Advisor implements by conditions when the DeMarker crosses above the lower threshold. This occurs when DeMarker buffer at index 1 is below lower level and DeMarker buffer at index 0 is equal to or above lower level. If no open position exists, it opens a new buy position using open buy position. If a buy position already exists, it identifies the low point for trailing stop by finding the index of the lowest low in the lookback period using ILowest with parameters including the symbol, H1 timeframe, mode_low, LookbackBars, and starting position 0. It retrieves the last low value from price data at the identified index. The trailing stop conditions require that the low must be at least MinCandlesBack old and the current price must be above the identified low. If these conditions are met, it calculates the trailing stop level as the low price plus the trailing offset multiplied by _point, then processes the trailing stop using process trailing stop with the new stop level and position_type_buy. For sell conditions, the Expert Advisor triggers when the DeMarker crosses below the upper threshold, which happens when DeMarker buffer at index 1 is above upper level and DeMarker buffer at index 0 is equal to or below upper level. If no open position exists, it opens a new sell position using open sell position. If a sell position already exists, it identifies the high point by finding the index of the highest high in the lookback period using IHighest with parameters including the symbol, H1 timeframe, mode_high, LookbackBars, and starting position 0. It retrieves the last high value from price data at the identified index. The trailing stop conditions require that the high must be at least MinCandlesBack old and the current price must be below the identified high. If these conditions are satisfied, it calculates the trailing stop level as the high price minus the trailing offset multiplied by _point, then processes the trailing stop using process trailing stop with the new stop level and position_type_sell. The combined trailing stop management function process trailing stop updates stop loss for both buy and sell positions. It iterates through all open positions in reverse order for safe modifications. For each position, it selects the position via ticket number using PositionGetTicket and PositionSelectByTicket. It applies position filters requiring the position type to match the specified type and the position to belong to the current chart symbol. It retrieves the current stop loss value using PositionGetDouble with position_SL. For buy positions, it updates the stop loss if the new level is higher than the current stop or if no existing stop loss is present. This is done using Trade. PositionModify with the ticket number, new stop level, and 0 for take profit. For sell positions, it updates the stop loss if the new level is lower than the current stop or if no existing stop loss is present, using the same PositionModify method. After completing the code, we press F7 to compile it. If this was too fast for you or if you don't understand what all the code is doing, you might want to check out the premium course on our website or watch one of the basic videos first. If the compilation works, we go back to Metaeditor by pressing F4 or clicking on the icon. Back in Metaeditor, we press Ctrl and are to start the strategy tester. We pick the Expert Advisor that we have just created, enable the visual mode, and start a strategy test. Then we should see the Expert Advisor on the chart. If you are already a premium course member and have an idea for a video like this one, you can send us an email. In this video, we have learned how to create an Expert Advisor that uses the DeMarker indicator for trend detection and implements a trailing stop mechanism based on recent price highs and lows. You have coded an Expert Advisor that opens positions when the DeMarker crosses threshold levels and manages them with dynamic trailing stops using just a few lines of MQL code. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.